Hey everybody, this is your spiritual color and diamond painter. I thought I'd go ahead and make another video. And this video, I'm coloring out of the Fairy Tale coloring book by Selena Fenech. I think that's how you say her name. And she's a great artist. I love her work. She does a lot of fantasy work and a lot of sci-fi work. And I like her art. So when it comes to art, I love people who can be creative minded with what they do. I have also the Grimm's fairy tale, which I'll do that the next time. It's a little graphic, but I like the different ways that they incorporate the fairy tales with a different approach. Sometimes it's like horror, but then sometimes it's just a different real Little Red Riding Hood. She might be, like some type of superhero or dressed in a whole different type of gear, and you see her tackling a wolf instead of the wolf tackling her. So I'm not a specialist in coloring. I'm still learning. I'm learning how to blend and how to get my colors right. So this don't look my best right here. This is my first picture actually in this book that I've colored, and I was coloring this wolf and trying to bring different colors of brown into the picture. When it comes to wolves, they're all different colors. They're brown, they're gray, they're black. And if you ever had a dog like a German Shepherd or a Husky, I think they're closer to the way a wolf looks, or the look of a wolf, than a lot of other dogs. Because I've had both dogs, cats, birds, if you're an animal lover or grew up with pets. And dogs are so friendly and they're so smart. I was just thinking as I was coloring, looking at some of these fairy tales they have in this book. Some of them are fairy tales I never even heard of, but it takes you back to when, as you get older, you get to thinking about, your timeline of life, and especially when I was around the age of listening to fairy tales, because I had a very, very wild imagination. And you telling me a story, I'm thinking about other things. I had to think about like a story like Little Red Riding Hood, when you're sitting there as a child and your hands are folded and you're waiting to hear the next part of the story, and you're just like, okay, what's going to happen next? And at the end you hear about the wolf trying to eat up the grandmother, and I think it's one part of the story where if the hunter who was in the woods had to come and get the wolf out of the grandmother's stomach because he was trying to eat up Little Red Riding Hood, and you're like, what? And you're at that age where your mind separates fantasy from reality. And I was just kind of laughing about that, thinking of all these different fairy tales. But every fairy tale had a meaning. Every fairy tale had a lesson that you could learn, or a message that you could gravitate towards. And as children today, I don't know if parents still are reading the same nursery rhymes or fairy tales to their kids. But yeah, it's always some messages. As the spiritual diamond color paint is spiritual colorist and diamond painter, I always want to bring messages of positivity, encouragement, and sometimes just messages that the Lord puts on my spirit to give, and bring some positive content. I'm just learning about these Prisma pencils now. When it comes to testing pencils, I am not the best at it. I'm trying to understand. I know the pencils feel different, but when it comes to the best ones to blend with and the best ones to shade with, uh, it's a lesson learned. It's not. It's not the easiest, because I'm like, okay, this is not. I could tell now just using certain pencils how certain ones are better on certain paper, I guess, than others. So it takes experience in it and knowing the kind of product you're using, because they have so many different products. I got Faber-Castell, I have the Prismas, of course I got my Crayolas, but there's all these different pencils, and you're trying to, okay, what are they really worth buying? And as my girl Dollar Diva would say, you have to be budget friendly and buy what's convenient for you, and just learn how to use the pencils. And I like that she demonstrates a lot and gives you great tips on how to use the pencils. I'm not good at backgrounds, but when it comes to doing these different fairy tales in this book, there's a lot of fairy tales I never heard of. And this one is Little Red Riding Hood, as you can see. I'm just blending in my green for my grass. I want to make it a little bit darker. I used it one type of green. Sometimes you have to use more than just two different types of color to get it to the color of affection. I had already started coloring this one. It's a pretty day outside. And, you know, I usually do this in the evening, and then I'm in the middle of the morning because I was just about to get some things together for my laundry. So I said I was going to do this coloring. I don't really, I'm a night owl. I always been. I used to work from 11 to 7. So my body really doesn't know how to go to sleep at night. So I didn't really sleep that well. And my allergies are still bothering me. If you can hear it in my voice and it sounds a little cracked, sorry. But as I was, like I said, reading these fairy tales, there's fairy tales I've never heard of. Like, there's one right before this one called, no, this is Thumbelina. I know Thumbelina. There's The Little Mermaid. There's Cinderella. Beauty and the Beast. I think it's the other one that I said I never heard of before. Diamonds and Toads. It's a French fairy tale of two stepsisters. One kind is selfish and the other rude and lazy. When the kind sister helped a fairy in disguise, she was gifted with gold, diamonds, and roses that fell from her mouth when she spoke. And the mean sister wished it for the same fortune and sought out the fairy, but was rude and unhelpful, and her reward was to be cursed, to have vipers and toads fall from her mouth. I thought that was just the craziest thing. I've never heard of that fairy tale, but just to read that to a child, and you're like, okay. It's lessons learned from fairy tales. It's better to be kind than it is to be rude and greedy. Unless the word of God says there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So I always say there's so many messages, you know, you can receive out of what you read, depending on what it is that you're reading. So my next one I was going to do here is Snow White and the Red Roses. Now this is a total different story of Snow White. And this is not the original Snow White that I've learned. This is a German tale with no connection to the other Snow White character. These sisters were visited throughout winter by a friendly bear. They led him into their warm home, and brushed the snow off. And in the summer, they discovered he was a prince under a wicked dwarf's curse. So, you know, those kind of stories, like, okay, be nice to all animals, because one might be a prince, right? We know that's not going to happen, but I always have a love for animals, and one of the artists that I really love right now is Kirby Rosen. He is awesome. His artistic mind is just so powerful. I mean, the type of art that he does is awesome, and I love his art. I have his Color Morphia. I just got his Worlds Within Worlds, and I also have his Fragile Worlds. And I love about Kirby is that he does give you a little understanding of what his books are about, and he lets you understand why he has created this particular book. One he has Fragile Worlds about endangered animals, and I love that. I probably have to have my Kirby out the next time I start doing my coloring, because he is an awesome colorist and artist. And I love his stuff. I mean, you have to have very great skills to do Kirby, but I put it like this: you got to start somewhere, and you never know till you know. So I'm not afraid to do a Kirby book, but it's just so much to do, and really wanting to get the picture right and get all the coloring, all the different colors into the picture that he has. So I just totally love Kirby. And I love my girl Joanna Carlson and Hannah Lynn, Selena Fenech. I like Mika Jelena, which is whose diamond painting is I have my book under. I'll show you. I'm on my way to starting. This is my biggest diamond painting I've ever done. But it is so beautiful, and I'm on my way, moving my way up on the starting at the top, all the way over, and it's a square diamond painting, and it's from Diamond Art Club. So yeah, Mika Jelena is also awesome artist. I like her and Hannah Lynn's portraits of their females and how they have them looking. They're so unique. But as we take a look at life, you never know what kind of messages God will give you throughout the day. You'll be looking at TV, and there's just so much going on in our world. And I always keep everyone in prayer that everyone is safe and healthy and doing well. And we can't let the negativity of the world bring us down and depress us, because the news is very depressing. But we have to stay uplifted and always just know that life is not always easy, but there's always something more to what you go through. It's not to destroy you. Say what don't kill you only make you stronger. So, there's things that we have to go through in life to get to the better side or the other side. And there's things that we don't always like to have to go through. But in the end, it'd be worth it, because we learned the lessons that we had to journey through that made us better thinkers, made us wiser in our ways, made us change, made us be enlightened, inspired, encouraged. It strengthened us. It taught us something, and we can pass that knowledge on to your children, to your friends, to your family. So, like the Snow White story, I think, not the Snow White story, the Little Red Riding Hood story, when you listen to the whole story, she's in the woods, and then I think the part of the story is where the wolf takes her off her path and tells her to go in another direction so he can beat her there to her grandmother's house. And I can just, recall when I was younger, my grandmother didn't live that far from me. And, my mom was not keen about letting me and my sister go anywhere by ourselves for a long time. But when we got to that place where we could walk together to my grandmother's house, and you say stranger danger, you tell your children not to talk to strangers. So, someone is like asking me, oh, where you going? How y'all doing? You're like, none of your business. Keep on moving. There's the story of not Snow White, but Little Red Riding Hood comes into your mind. And I was always thinking like that as a kid, like, don't talk to no strangers. No, not going to do that. Saying hi to them, we wave, don't ask me where I'm going, because ain't none of your business. Even though they probably know they probably going to their grandma's house. But, that little Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood story is like, And I said, I know how kids have wild imaginations today, and I was definitely one of those children who, when I heard any kind of fairy tales, it always had you thinking. Or if you was ever a child and had to tell your parents you was going to run away. And I remember that time when I told my mother, I probably wasn't even 10. You had your little doctor suitcase, like, okay, you want to run away? Go ahead and take off those little balls you got in your ponytails and everything you got on, because you didn't buy nothing and you didn't come in this world with nothing. So you leaving out with nothing. That was the kind of mother I had. So she was not about that, telling I'm going to run away. And I was laughing, thinking to myself, the mind of a child. You think, I'm going to run away and I'll meet some little dwarfs in the woods and they'll take care of me. No, that is not how that works. But, we have to enlighten our children. And I think children learn to appreciate the blessings that they have when, you don't understand it when you're young. But when we're talking about stories and things that we learn as children, and everything has a message and a story that gives out something positive, that stay on the path that God has put you on, because sometimes the enemy will come and try to take you off of it. If you don't have, sometimes, it's good to not always stay on the same path, to make changes and to step out of your comfort zone. But then there's times also And we have to think about, let someone else tell you or convince you, oh no, go this way, don't go that way. All this time, and your gut has already told you you were on the right path. But someone else comes along and make you feel like you're not, or there's an easier way out of this. And, we go the wrong way and something happens that didn't have to happen if we would have stayed on the path that we were on. So trust your gut. Don't let people take you off the path that God has put you on, or mislead you or misguide you. Because it's easy to be misled. It's easy for someone else to say to do this or do that when we already felt in our gut that that's not what we wanted to do. Sometimes you have to learn to think for yourself and not let others think for you. Like I said, it will be a sheep, the wolves that comes in the sheep's clothing. So be careful, be prayerful, and stick with what your gut instinct tells you. Because there are many people that fall in the wrong, into traps because we don't listen to our instincts. Even the story like the three little pigs. I think I'm up with some grapes. Three built a house. One built a house of straw. One built a house of brick. And the other built their house of straw, brick. What was the other one? Well, the one built their house of clay or something. But the other house, all the other two houses fell. And the one who built his house of brick, it didn't. So when the two straw, brick, oh my God, I know that story. I'm like, what? It was three of them. The straw and the one that got blown down. They didn't last. But when the brother was building his house of brick and they got finished building their house quicker, they were looking at the person who had to build their house of brick and they were like teasing the brother who was building his house of brick. Like, you going through all that when all you had to do was this. You ain't even got time to play. You ain't got time to do nothing because you sitting there trying to, work hard and it don't even take all that. It don't even take all that. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to keep building my house of brick. And, the other brothers, they're over there just laughing and giggling and playing. But then here comes the enemy and blows both of the other brothers' houses down. And they got to run to the brother house who just got finished building his house a brick. And he saves their lives because they didn't take time to think how to do something more wisely. And when certain things take more time, when certain things take a little longer than others, it always turns out better because hard work and dedicated work and patience pays off. Now, why did I do that? I'm going to see if this, I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm trying something different. I wanted that part to be gray, but I didn't want it to be all gray. So I wanted to kind of blend a little bit and see how that's going to turn out. Like right in the middle, he has these patches. So, when he had to go to the other brother's house with three little pigs, they had to learn a lesson and thank their brother that he saved their life. And now they all had time to get out and play because they just realized to appreciate life. Oh, now we can really rejoice because our lives has been saved. Our lives are no longer in danger because now the big brother who built his house of brick saved their life. And they're now understanding why he did what he did. And they're appreciating the fact that they're still alive. So when at the end, I think you see it in the book. If you ever look, I don't like the way this looks. Y'all don't judge me for how this picture looks right now. Because sister is still working. Don't perfect it. Excuse me. One thing I like about these Prisma pencils is you always got to keep sharpening them. They got these little teeny tiny points, but they don't last long. You got to keep sharpening them. I know that don't look too cool, but I'm going to try to work it out. I like the blend. I don't like my pictures to always look like something original, like a bear or wolf, brown, black. Oh, and with this one, he got a little specks in him. So don't judge my color right now, because I don't feel like it's at its best. I'm working on it though. I was trying to blend the middle part where it's gray and he has a couple of little spots and make that look a little different, like the fur will look a little different in the middle. Okay. But as I was saying, there's always lessons to everything. Even in the stories we were told as children, there's a lesson to be learned. There are things that, we don't think about until later on. The message that, we are receiving as children that we end up embracing in life. And the stories that we tell our children. Be careful of the stories you tell children. Because, the mind of a child is precious. And these children today, they have wild imaginations. My mom was always careful what she told us, what we put us. She put us in front of the television. She did not play that. We did not watch rated R movies, violent movies. And I couldn't even see a rated R movie till after I was 17, out of my mama's house. That wasn't happening. But the mind of a child is sensitive, so you have to be careful. Even when you get teenagers and they think they're grown, you still have to educate them, let them know. Sometimes, the enemy likes to come in and cloud our mind with false images and, negativity. So you're never too old to learn or to be educated or to be encouraged. Life is a lesson every day. And I'm hoping everyone is doing well and that their life is being blessed and that everything that you're going through, that God can turn your sorrow into triumph. He can turn around everything that the enemy has tried to steal and destroy. I'm a witness. I am an example to his glory, his blessings. And this is just something to relax me because, like I said, I have sometimes hard time sleeping at night. I struggle with insomnia. And just to get up, I'm like, okay, my energy does not fill up. So I try to take my pills that are vitamins. I like to take some with ginseng. I keep my vitamin C up, my zinc. And, as we get older, we need our everyday vitamins because we don't get a lot of our nutrients from the foods we eat a lot because, they always got different stuff they put in our foods. I tell people I love my vegans and everyone else, but, the world knows what they're doing. The FDA and them, they know what they're doing. I do not like the way this looks. I wanted the middle to look a little different, but I don't know. I'm working on it, y'all. I said I'm learning, so. And this is the Snow White and Red and Rose Red story. So I want you guys to know that you are blessed and that God has great things for your life. Remember, stay on the path that God has put you on. Do not let the enemy take you off of it. Keep your head to the sky. And the next time I come on here, I think I'm going to do something from Kirby's book, With Endangered Animals, and talk a little bit about some of the other artists. Big up to Dollar Diva, Pamela's Passion for Pencils. I love Miss Crocheting Coffee and Rachel Wright because I also do diamond painting. And this is my diamond painting under here that I am still doing. Coriana. That's her face over there. Can you see a little bit? I ain't got to her face yet, so. But I'm working my way across because I got a little bit of that done right there in the middle going down. So I'm working my way across. And this is the biggest diamond painting I ever done. So obviously, I don't spend a lot of time on diamond paintings. Like some people can spend 3 or 4 hours. My time with my diamond painting is usually an hour and 30 minutes if it's that long. 45 minutes to an hour is the limitation. But I have to learn really how to do better with coloring and talking because I'm not really practicing any of my techniques right now as I'm coloring. And I don't like the way that bear looks in the middle at all. I don't like the way that bear looks in the middle. I was trying to make where he had those dots a little different color to his fur. But, as I said, be blessed, everyone. And my message for today is stay on the path God is giving you. You know, kindness is a virtue, it is a blessing to know that kindness can change lives. It can uplift and inspire. Just a little bit of kindness can change the life of anyone. You know, if you smile at someone and the Lord puts something in your heart, speaking kind words, speaking inspiration to someone else's life. I remember one time I was in a grocery store, and some Lord had just tugged on my heart from seeing this one. I said, you know what? I don't know you well, but I see you every day. But my spirit wanted me to tell you that God loves you and you're going to be blessed. And God said, hold on. Tough times don't last always. And this is for the pandemic. The lady just hugged me and said, thank you so much. I really needed to hear that today. And, you know, sometimes we walk away because we don't know how people are going to receive us. We don't want people to look at us strange. Um, but, you know, sometimes when you just speak kind words into someone else's life, and it wasn't because there was nothing wrong with the way she looked. It wasn't because she was looking sad. It was just something that was on my heart. And when I went over to the lady, you know, and said it, because we see each other all the time, you know, when you go into the grocery store. There's just some people you meet or you just see a lot and you don't know them. You say, hey, hi. Sometimes we don't even know each other's names. Oh, gosh. I can't really see that. We just kind of pass each other by and don't really see each other a lot, but unless we're in the store, we're going passing by. But you know, kind words can change a person's life. So, you know, like I said, even in fairy tales, there are lessons to be learned in everything from the childhood to an adult. Be blessed. Know that God is with you, that you are blessed and highly favored. I hate this because I'm not really getting this. This is not my best coloring session, y'all. I don't like the way nothing looks on this page. But, you know, sometimes we're hard on ourselves. But it's harder for me to practice techniques when I'm talking. But I'm getting it together. I'll probably be doing some diamond painting next time too. If I don't have out my curvy book. So be blessed and know that you are favored and that God has great plans for your life. And don't let the enemy take you off the path that the Lord has given you. And say something special and kind to someone that you would never expect for you to say it. That's my message. That's my positive inspiration for today. Thank you so much for watching. And be blessed and subscribe if you like my content because I will be back with more. I'm trying to just get everything together because I am in transition. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And have a blessed day. And this is your spiritual colorist and diamond painter, Lady T. Shay. Bye-bye.